Today, I'm gonna upgrade old LEGO space sets to try and make them better than the originals. You guys really like this concept, so we're back. We're gonna try and make it into a series. Starting with the MT-51 Claw Tank Ambush from Mars Missions. I actually had a few Mars Mission sets, some of the first LEGO sets I ever got. And the big base set even had an air pump so you could slam down on it and these guys would shoot around and move to different stations. I had this one and this one. But we're gonna see if we can make the set any better. All right, let's build this guy up. And here we have the Mars Missions Claw Tank Ambush. I think it turned out pretty well. My favorite feature of it is that they actually use rubber pieces to give the treads a bit of flexibility so they can act as sort of shock absorbers. When you roll over something, look at that. It's actually really unique and a super simple way to give it some light suspension. My least favorite part about it is it's a little small and it seems like they kind of gave up on this top section. And then we have the skimmer right here, which is essentially what the alien sits in. It's not great, but it does have these folding wings. For colors on this thing, they make it pretty simple, with white being the main color, and then they have orange and transparent orange as highlights, with some light bluish gray pieces for some of the mechanical details. Then they use this transparent blue for all the energy weapons. And then for the alien spacecraft, it's kind of the same thing, but with black as the main color, some lime green, and then this transparent neon green for the power source. But I think we can upgrade this to make it even better. So the first thing I want to do is add 2 more wheels to the back of the same kind, and improve the suspension in the front with a little bit more spring, because right now it works, but it's not great.
Okay, so I've gone ahead and added our 2 Technic beams right here and our wheels, which kind of just slide in. But now I'm thinking, I want to utilize the same suspension mechanism we have at the front here for these back 2 wheels. So basically popping these arms off like this, and allowing them to pivot like that with the same kind of springiness we have up here. But since our system at the front is a little bit weak, I'm gonna use 2 rubber Technic pieces instead of 1 for each arm to make it a bit stronger. Hopefully that should work pretty good, but already, even with those 2 wheels added at the back, it definitely looks a lot cooler. It's a little harder than I thought. Essentially what I'm trying to do here is push through an axle that is not connected to the wheel. So we're gonna put the wheel right here. So now that can spin freely and it's not affecting anything else. But we need an axle here. We're going to put our leg, which basically shoots out the back like this, right here. And then there we go, this axle is static. So then we just need one of these guys, which is a newer Lego piece they didn't actually have back then. It's essentially one of these blue pieces, but it actually has an axle for 2 of these slots. We can do the same thing we did in the front with 2 of these rubber pieces. All right, it works. There we go. So then if we attach our wheel to that, throw this guy here, throw this guy here. Check it out, guys. Now we have full suspension. Because as you can see, this will rotate around the back, and this guy moves up and down like so. So when we roll this over our arm, dun dun dun, that sort of works. Now I just have to duplicate that on the other side. Now that we got that done, we have our new suspension. Looks pretty good, as you can see. Now I'm gonna move these containers to the back, because honestly, this is just kind of weird. I don't like, they just kind of float here. It's weird. So we're gonna take these off. The thing that annoys me is these guys just fall out when you're playing with this. So we need to fix that. And I think an easy way to do that is just to take what we have up here and add some brackets, some new brackets. If we had some of these Lego 1x2 clips like this, we can actually just grab 2 of these guys and kind of fold them inward, except we have to keep with the color scheme. Just like that. That keeps it in, but I'm gonna add 1 more piece to the top of these, just for fun. We'll add a few of these slopes right here like this. Boom. Now, as you can see, this thing doesn't fly out, except that breaks off. But, you know, if you don't shake it, it'll be fine. Now I actually wanna add these guys to the back. I think what I actually wanna do is instead of putting these on weird tilting mechanisms, we're gonna have to mount them sideways using these Technic pieces on the bottom, which should be pretty easy. All right, so here you can see I figured out how to do the tubes on this. So first, we take a few of these little panel pieces and we just build a slide with a few studs in it, which allows us to take these little Technic connectors on the inside of this and snap them right into place like that. So these things aren't going anywhere, and then we just add 1 more piece here, and that thing kind of keeps it all in place. Also fixed the little closing mechanisms on the back, because I think they look a lot cleaner now. And with that, our base is pretty much finished. I'm just going to repurpose these little guys here to hold a few flick-fire missiles for an added play feature. Because back in 2009, flick-fire missiles were all the rage. Okay, now that we got the bottom part done, I was gonna say I was gonna work on the top part, but now I realize I need to actually create a little cover for this, because literally, even when you pop one out, the other ones just jump out of the chamber. This is a little missile launcher piece. Check it out, it's a little 2x2 round brick, and it has a Technic hole through the middle, so we can just take this piece, literally snap it onto here, and then this caps that just like so. We can even put a little tile on top of it. Boom. Oh, also, it's built like this for some reason, so it just breaks off. The upper portion of this robot thing is kind of a travesty.
I mean, look at the cockpit. There's literally 2 levers in here that are behind the guy's arm, so how does he even get to this? So let's put some serious redesigning into this guy and upgrade the cockpit too. Okay, we got a lot of stuff to fix here. First, we gotta make it so this doesn't fall off. For that, I'm going to extend these guys. I'm going to find another way to connect it because I don't like these snap hinges being used everywhere. So let's use regular bar and clip hinges instead. It's now 2026, so we have these cool pieces, which are just reverse slopes. Snap a few of those on the back of our window. Boom, it's already looking better. And on the inside of this, I'm gonna take an opportunity to add a little bit more detail. So we can add some brackets like this to actually be able to add controls to the inside of this window. We can just deck this thing out and make it look cool. This is the new control window. As you can see, there are a ton more details on the inside. We got our joysticks, we got some buttons, and a little viewfinder on the side, and we can still keep our minifigure right here, but this thing will just fold down over him and look pretty cool. So now I'm working on this weird little crab shell that was here already. I'm just making it a bit bigger. I'm actually having a lot of fun with the interior of this. I didn't think it would be this fun, but genuinely, I'm really enjoying redesigning this. This definitely looks a lot better than the original. As you can see, now we have our updated cockpit. This thing folds down, all the controls go with it, and it even has these cool little eye details on the sides. It could be like lasers or cameras or whatever. And it looks a bit better in the back with the shaping here. But we're getting really close to actually having this thing done.
What do I need? I need a ball joint. Let's see. There we go. We need one of these and one of these. Perfect.
The main problem I have with the arms is that they have these weird joints that basically don't angle down unless you rotate the whole arm. So they're always standing out like this, and it just looks really weird. Now I'm gonna break these guys off and replace each one with ball joints, which are these joints here. They give you a full 360 degrees of motion. I'm also gonna make the arms bigger because now that we've made the torso bigger, honestly, they just look kind of stubby. So instead of each section of the arm being 4 studs wide, we're gonna take this off and replace it with a 2x6, making it 6 studs wide. Now as you can see, arm's a little bit bigger. And once I do that, I think this will be fully upgraded. For the thing I'm calling the skimmer, I think it's already designed pretty well. I'm just gonna add a few pieces to make it look like the larger ships, which are literally just a few ball joint connections. Also just gonna add a few wedge plates to the bottom of this. They will be at just the right angle we want, which is slightly tilted in. And last but not least, I'm gonna add a few of these little flick fire missile launchers to each side, because right now there's no play features on this thing. And now, there we go. And here we have the upgraded MT-51 Claw Tank Ambush set. I'm very happy with how this turned out. Let's start with the tank. You can see from the original one, we made it a lot bigger. We added 2 more wheels on the back, and we also improved the strength of the suspension in the front and added the same suspension on the back with the back wheels, which means this thing should be able to move over terrain a lot easier. The torso is a lot larger, as you can see. This thing still rotates on its axis. I kept a lot of the main design features the same, I just upgraded them to make them look a lot cooler. But I think my favorite part about this whole set is the cockpit. This thing, as you can see, you lift it up, all the controls come with it. It's got a bunch of cool details in there, so I definitely think that turned out a lot better than the original. I made the arms look kind of cool. I made the laser blaster bigger just by increasing the diameter of the bars. And then where we had these little alien tube things on the front, they are now mounted on the back on each of these wheel things. And then where those were in the front, I just added some missile launchers, which you can flip up like this, and you can launch those like this. I don't know why flick fire is such a thing. And then for the skimmer, I just made some simple additions, like these 2 little wings that come off the back. This is meant to look more like the big ships that are in the bigger sets, but basically they have this design with these 2 little legs in the back. So I think this upgrade turned out pretty good, but this next set I'm super excited for, because it's one of my favorites. Next up, we have the Space Police Galactic Enforcer. This was one of the biggest Space Police sets I could find, and it's awesome. The tape hasn't even been broken. So this is a pristine condition, slightly damaged set that was once sold for $50. How? In what year was this $50? Something just feels so wrong about breaking the seal on a retired Lego set, and the value plummets. But that means this thing has never been opened. Ah, dude, this is so cool. Oh, what? It's like crusty. Oh no. Oh no. Why is it crusty? This is gross. Wait a minute, this is so weird. Something got spilled on this. It was sealed. It was a sealed box. Look at this. Oh, I don't want to damage it, but... Well, at least there's instructions on the website, because these are not opening. I'm going to wash my hands now, because because that's gross. Let's get this guy built up and see how we can improve it. As you can see, completed in front of me is the Galactic Enforcer. This is the best LEGO spaceship set I've ever built. This takes the cake. This is so cool. Reasons why it's so cool. It has jail cells that pop open when you hit them. For the main build, it looks like they went with white for a base color. They used black pieces to differentiate the details, dark transparent blue. For the energy weapons, it looks like they're using a dark transparent green here. And then of course we have the red and blue because police. As you see, it already has a decked out interior with just a few chairs and some weapon storage, so not really much we need to do in there. As I already said, it's a really good build. We got a little buggy that comes out the back that's actually stored in the spaceship, which is cool. Now this one, compared to some of the other sets we built, actually does have a pretty great firing function. That shot super far. I'm actually gonna start by upgrading this first because there's one thing I wanna do to it just to make it a little bit better. Right now, it has no features except for the launching thing that went really far away. So what I wanna do is actually make it so you can angle these wings because right now they're locked in. So if we take this guy off, instead of having an axle connect these because it doesn't let them move, I'm gonna replace it with a bar of the same length. Check this out. Add these pieces right back on. And there we go. And then we just reconnect that and do the same thing on the other side. All right, look at that. That's already a lot cooler because you can put the wings up like this, or for landing mode, you can just slide them around like this and they kind of click, and boom. Why didn't LEGO do that? I genuinely don't understand. Probably because these pieces rub together, but that's okay, don't look at that. The other thing I want to add to this is like, it has this chain. I don't know if it's supposed to steal the statue or whatever, but I'm just gonna build a simple ATM to trail behind it. So it makes more sense to have this as if he's actually stealing something, which is why they call the space police.
And there we have our little ATM. It's got a screen, it's got a keypad, it even has little money storage in the back.
Like I said, it's all about play features.
So now we can take this guy and wrap our little chain inside like that. Boom, a robbery.
All right, now onto the actual spaceship. So this thing comes apart into 3 different sections, or I guess 4, because these back 2 are kind of their own thing. So we're gonna kind of overhaul this from back to front, starting with these 2 little quick pursuit vehicles on the back. Now these things are actually pretty cool. The way these are built is actually really simple. It's just a few brackets on the inside and then 2 of these plain window pieces, which is really, really smart, except it leaves us without a windscreen on the top. So first things first, let's add one of those. Time to break out the old windscreens. Let's see what we got here. All right, we got several types of windows we can work with here. We have this thing, which doesn't really fit on there very well. We have this guy, which too big, too weird. You know what, I'm gonna try these. I think this one might actually fit the best. So to connect this inside here, I think what we'll do is just add a few little modified 1x1s with a clip to the top of this guy. And we can attach this like so. All right, here's what I've got. As you can see, our minifigure still fits in there, like so. We can still fit on our side panel, like this, because that snaps in. We're gonna make it so that this thing can actually free float with gravity on the back like this. The only problem with that idea is when we have these guys connected to the end, there's not really anything to hold them on. But I have an idea to fix that. If we actually just put the axle between these 2 pieces, so it kind of like sticks in there on our vehicles, then we just need something in here that'll hold it in place, but also allow it to turn. So if we take one of these guys and put it in here, we can stick our axle through the back like this. It still lets it turn inside there, but we can also pull it out, which means this should work perfectly. Actually, I just made a realization. I'm trying to reinvent the wheel here. There's literally a piece that locks in and still lets you rotate it, which can take one of these, which just snaps in like this, and boom. Why didn't I think of that? Does that work? Yes, it does. Look at that. So now that we figured that out, let's move on to the next thing. Next up, let's upgrade these blasters. Now, these are pretty cool, but I think we can make them a little bit bigger, so I'm actually gonna duplicate them and upscale them using a few bar pieces to make them cooler. Another thing I want to fix on the main set is when you connect the front module, these 2 little fin pieces right here actually press into the window and don't fit together, which is a very weird oversight. It just doesn't fit. And it's too hard to get this window off, so I'm going to simply rebuild that, add a little jumper plate under the window so it comes off easier, and then move the spikes farther apart so this thing actually fits together. And maybe we can even mount these kind of under here, like that. But once we finish bulking up these wings a little bit, I think this thing should be done. And finally, after a few hours of hard work, we have the upgraded Galactic Enforcer. We can actually measure our wingspan of this with our fancy stud measure, the tape measure for LEGO builders. This ship now has an extended wingspan of 52 studs. It's nice because you can snap on the end piece and then measure stuff For example, the fuselage is 20 studs long. It also measures in both studs and bricks, so if you want one of these, by the way, you can get one, link in the description. A couple of my favorite improvements are, one, you can still take it apart, right, into your 3 sections. So you got the front of it, and then these 2 guys on the back here. But now these guys are free floating, so we can even snap them into the front section. And as you can see, they kind of remain level no matter how you turn it. You still open it up, you have access to the inside, and you still have your little buggy that comes out the back like this. And I fully upgraded the wings so that they're bigger and the blasters are posable, and they're now moved to the bottom. I decided to keep the play feature where you could like pop open the jail cells, just because it's kind of fun. And these things are nice too because you can pop them off and then they can load them up in some sort of space prison. And then finally for our secondary build, we have an ATM trailing behind it. Plus you can now change the angle of these wings so this thing can fly in different ways. And it just makes it a lot more posable. And you can still shoot the thing on the front. I think I did pretty good upgrading this, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Oh, huge thanks for watching. Check out one of these 2 videos popping up on your screen and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. See ya.